Hello, guys. Welcome back. I couldn't figure out for the life of me while I was looking at all this NDE stuff, and I figured out it was like the universe, Loki, God, whomever, angel, saint, snapping their fingers and saying, "Pay attention." As you guys know, I've been with the channel for a while. I've actually died a bunch of times in my life. There's only one that I can recall that I had something happen. But, I guess it would explain why I grew up having experiences that everybody else around you starts to think, oh, you're crazy. And you stop talking to people about it after a while because if you're actually seeing angels and saints and you're talking to God, um, people start thinking you're nuts. The church tells you you can talk to God, but they don't really mean it. You can talk to angels and saints, but they don't really mean it. When you're coming and saying, hey, St. Michael said so and so, the priest just kind of stares at you like, sure he did. Um, and I think it's because we cut ourselves off. Even our religious leaders cut them off from spirituality. And I thought it was something everyone else had. I didn't know, having have died as a bunch of times as a little baby, and then having health issues. I didn't know everybody else wasn't doing this. And then I finally found out, most people aren't doing this, so you shut yourself off from it. And then lately, it's like I'm getting kind of like a shove to look into these NDEs because, it's like, okay, you put this work off for decades. It's time for you to pick it back up. And this is not me announcing some kind of service. It was like, you get this stuff, okay? And like, let's say you have an angel or saint or God or whomever, and this works for you whether you can sense them or not. They're walking with us through our whole life, and the best analogy I can come up with is we're the child in this analogy. We're walking with our guides, gods, whomever, our whole life, and they're constantly holding our hand. There's never a time, even if it seems like they have, that they let go. And we see a lot of scary stuff in our life. And we're little kids, so we're scared. And we have a lot of challenges in our life. And because we're a little kid, we're crying about it. And they're trying to point out all the stuff we should be seeing. We really shouldn't, you should be aware of scary stuff, yeah. Should be aware of challenges in life, yeah. But that shouldn't be your main focus. Once you've done what you can as a human, and once you've prayed about, done magic, whatever makes you comfortable, let it go. Let it go. It will be handled by whomever your God is, God, whomever, whatever makes you feel comfortable saying. And you don't worry about stuff. Now, you can kind of let go of all that. That's something I've found that a lot of people don't seem to talk about. I've seen one or two other people talk about it. You can choose to let go of all that. You can choose to let go of talking to everyone. You can choose to let go of that comfort. You can choose to let go of not worrying about stuff and then get a whole bunch of fun stuff to deal with because you kind of bought back into the system. A quote that came up for me recently was, this is just a ride. And it is. This is just a ride. It's something we all decided to come down and do, or somehow. We decided we had to have this experience, this human experience. Why we all chose a dark ride, I don't know, but we all chose to be here for some reason. And I can't tell you where we come from. I can't tell you really where we go because my one near death experience that I can remember, it wasn't spectacular like other people have. There were like no music or anything else, but I would have stuff after I came back, but you would tell people and they go, you're crazy. You're crazy. That doesn't happen. And I can tell you it does happen, but the thing is, you can have it on full blast. You can have it constantly all the time. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to still have challenges or still see scary stuff. But I do get a general sense from all of them of, relax and be happy. There are always going to be scary times, but they're going to get us through this. I always get a sense of you're going to get through every challenge. And even if we don't make it through that challenge, we just end up there, which is not a bad place. My mother had died a bunch of times as well. It seems to run in the women in my family. It generally does. We die a couple times during the lifetime and we keep coming back. And, she said heaven was nice. Because she was Catholic, she ended up in heaven. I think you end up wherever you need to go or want to go. And she loved it. And she said, you see all your family, but the last time she had gone, before her passing, well, okay, a decade or so before passing, they told her, "It's not your time yet. What are you doing here?" Basically, two grouchy men, and let's take 20 guesses who the men are. When I had my experience, I was just floating in blackness. It wasn't bad, it wasn't scary, it wasn't a place that bad people go. It was just blackness, and it seemed far above. It looked like maybe an elevator shaft or something, like the door of it. And it looked like it was open, and I thought I should just be able to think myself there. And I tried, and it didn't work. I thought, okay, I'll zoom up there. And before I could zoom up there, it started closed, and it was open just a crack. I had an idea there were these two men there, and they're like, "What do you want?" And at first I thought they were angels, but it's starting to make more sense to me who they were. "What do you want? What do you think you're doing here?" And I realized, damn it, I could have snuck in that door if I'd only been a little quicker, but I don't know how this stuff works. And I said, "Well, I want to be here. Let me in." "Not your time yet. Go back." No, because I was dead, and I'm like, I know that body is messed up. I wasn't looking at my body or anything. I'm in this complete and utter blackness. I said, "I'm not going back. You can't make me go back. I am staying here. That shit don't work." And they're like, "No, you are going back. You have stuff to do." No, they never give you a list. So far as I know, you're never given this list. Some people claim they got a list. I didn't get any damn list. I came back and I was so pissed off. I didn't come back spiritually enlightened. I came pissed off at the other side that they didn't let me stay there. And why the hell was I here? And I had all these health issues and all this other stuff. And sometimes it seems when you have these experiences that you don't get that, let's call it a payoff, because you don't get that payoff. Some people have an experience, all of a sudden they got a book deal, they're doing speaking engagements, they're making all this money. For the vast majority of people, though, that never happens. They may never even tell anybody outside family members about their experiences. So I think it's just a thing to keep in mind that you don't need that to happen. You know, you do not. Anybody has this gift. I believe we've reached a point. You don't even really have to be all that spiritual that you can just do it. It's just a matter of belief and having faith that you can do it. It's really that easy. One gentleman said we're all telepathic. The idea is to quit forgetting that you are telepathic and it'll just come. And I've been trying stuff lately like animal communication, and I know this sounds batshit crazy, but I was talking to the crow today, and the crow flew over the house, and the crow's like, "Huh, you remembered." I was getting that idea of like, "Okay, you remembered, now what?" And I'm like, I really don't know. This is just a parlor trick at this time for me. I don't think I'll become an animal communicator and start healing animals, but I like talking to them. And when all the dogs were going hyperactive, it was like, "I know you can hear me. I know you can hear me. I know you can hear me." I wasn't getting words, but I was getting out. It was like, "I know you're aware that I'm talking to you. Hey, you." But as a human, you're paying attention to the dog acting, and you're just saying, "Brrrr." So of course you're not communicating, but it's just been something we've been discussing. And even if you have it full blast, guys, if you're getting it like 24/7, like talking to angels and saints and everything, the best they're doing, and I don't mean to make that sound like it's very little, but they're walking with us holding our hand, and we're pointing at all the scary stuff. When they're saying, "Okay, it's scary, I get that, but I'm here, it's okay. It's just an illusion. You're on this walk for, on this ride, whatever you want to think of it, for a while, and then we get off and we go wherever we go." And they're like, "Don't worry about the stuff. Once we've pointed it out to them, to an angel, God, goddess, whomever, they know it. We don't have to point it out 50 times, but we're little kids, so we keep like, yeah, but the thing is still there. They know it's there, okay? They know, sweetheart." And I don't understand yet why we have the experiences we do. Like, I can't explain miracles to you. I can't explain why do some people pass away from X and why some people pass away from Y and Z and why some people die of natural causes. I can't tell you any of that. But I can tell you that, we're always protected and we're always loved and we're always in communication. I think we are, even if we're not aware of it. And it's just a thing of we're just doubting it because we're not getting the answers back we think we should, because we've had too many people that are dishonest that say, "Oh, yeah, once you have this communication for real, you'll be rich, you'll be successful." No. look at Jesus. Was Jesus either rich or successful? Was he the CEO of a company? No, he wasn't. He was so poor. He slept out in, the street or the wilds or wherever. It doesn't always correspond that you get a spiritual gift and then you get a financial or monetary gift to represent it as well. It doesn't work like that. Some of the most spiritual people are, very poor because they're usually working on that, and they're like, yeah, it doesn't mean the two can't mix. You can be, say rich and spiritual, but it does mean that if you're usually trying to work on your spiritual life, you're like, I see all that stuff and that's kind of nice, but I really don't want to stop the work I'm doing now and go over and put in the time and effort it takes to get all that money because that's time and effort you don't have to spend on the spiritual side. Spiritual side of things. So I just thought I would make that for you, and it feels timely because I think a lot of people think I've had these experiences and yet I'm not getting like this financial blessing, I'm not getting this huge house. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. They will always be with us. They will always love us, but it doesn't always translate into giving us stuff. I know a lot of people out there, especially in the New Age circuit, especially in the NDA circuit, will insist that that is the only way you can prove that you've been to the other side, that you'll get like all these blessings and countless blessings. You do, but they're usually not financial. They're usually not monetary. They're usually not physical. They're like you have the communication, you have the companionship, you have the love, you have the teaching. So that is kind of hard to wrap your head around. Doesn't mean your basic needs won't be met, but it's kind of one of those things I kind of wanted to, it feels timely. It feels like somebody's telling me somebody out there is, having a huge amount of communication. A lot of you are, but you're doubting it because you're not being given that brand new car, that brand new house, or that book deal or something. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.